Hello again, and thank you for joining me today. We will be reading stories from a character that didn't really have any dialogue, but it was another favorite around the house. So when I found the books, I just had to read them. Who am I speaking about? Why, Pingu the Penguin, of course. We will be reading about the trials and tribulations of Pingu and his family's Arctic adventures. First up is Pingu and the Paper Plane. And as always, here we only have the finest quality children's stories we read by the finest quality narrator. Just kidding, but the stories are fantastic and hopefully you will enjoy these renditions. Pingu was giving his girlfriend Pinky a lift to school on his sledge. Whack whack! It was very exciting speeding down the slippery slope. But then... crash! The front of the sledge crunched into a pile of freshly fallen snow. Eek! Called Pingu as he span across the ice on his tummy. Ouch! Called Pinky, who did an amazing somersault and landed on her beak. Then, toot toot! It was Pinky, riding her super duper ice scooter. He giggled when he saw what had happened. Pingu and Pinky thought their friend might stop to help them, but he didn't. Toot toot went his scooter again, and he was gone. Pingu felt very angry. You go on to school, he said to Pinky, and I'll come when I've pulled my sledge out of the snow. Pingu freed his sledge and raced to school so he wouldn't be late. He was sitting at his desk, quietly working, when something hit him on the head. It was a ball of crumpled paper. Pingu looked up to see who had thrown it, and he saw Pinky giggling. Pingu tore a piece of paper from his workbook, speedily folded into a plane, and threw it at Pinky. It was bad luck that at that moment a big gust of wind blew. The wind carried the plane high into the sky and then down, down into a helter-skelter swirl. It landed at the feet of Professor Pangalo. Who threw this? Professor Pangalo held up the plane so that everyone could see it. Not me, said Pinky. So, who did? Asked the professor. Everyone was silent. Then Pinky pointed at Pingu. Pingu threw it, he said. I saw him. Is that true? Professor Pangalo asked. Did you throw the paper plane, Pingu? No, said Pingu. Professor Pangalo looked closely at Pingu's workbook. It had a page torn out of it. Said Professor Pangalo. Professor Pangalo told Pingu to stand in the corner for the rest of the day. Meanwhile, Pingu sat at his desk and pretended he was a very well-behaved penguin. It was boring standing in the corner. Pingu looked around. He saw Pingu's super-duper ice scooter and had an idea. While no one was looking, Pingu raced over to the scooter and undid one of the bolts on the front wheel. He threw the bolt as far as he could, and it landed in the snow, never to be found again. Then he went back to his corner and smiled until Professor Pangalo rang the bell for the end of school. As Pingu was setting off for home, he heard Pingu offer Pinky a ride on his scooter. Huh? Thought Pingu. Then, oh no! He remembered the front wheel was loose, and he almost called out for Pinky to stop. But it was too late. Crash! Pinky fell off the scooter and landed on her beak for a second time that day. Ouch, she said. Pingu laughed when he saw that Pinky wasn't hurt, and he laughed again when he saw how upset Pinky was about his scooter. It didn't look very super-duper anymore. Fancy a lift home? Pingu asked Pinky cheerily. Yes, please, she replied. I'm not going on that scooter again. Bye, they called to Pinky, and they were gone. But they hadn't gone very far when Pingu stopped his sledge. Do you think we should go back and help Pinky? He asked. He was a bit naughty, replied Pinky, but I do feel sorry for him. So they went back and together worked out a plan for traveling home. And the plan worked out very well indeed. Toot toot!